Welcome back to Joyce Park in Hamilton, Ohio, the 2014 U.S. Open Archery Championships. I'm Ted Rutan, joined by Derek Davis. And Derek, we've had a couple of good matches. The Master Men, a 121-19 match won by Jeff DeRagnacourt over William Appel. Our first compound men, Eric Bennett from the Paralympic U.S. team, defeated Kelly Schmidt. And now we have compound women, Sarah Lance and Samantha Price.
That's right. Sarah, I had the pleasure of traveling with Youth World Championships, and she's been a real strong archer in the women's division. Even when she was in the juniors and cadet, working her way up to the women's division now. And her competitor Samantha is kind of new on the target archery scene. Been a avid bow hunter and 3D shooter probably in the past, and but fairly new on this side of the archery field, and she's making a name for herself. So
we hear that she's had a presence on the social media.
Yeah, apparently she's working the social media really well to gain a fan base, and I just actually took a look at her Facebook page, and it does look quite active.
So we are awaiting the start of this 1/8 match.
And the raindrops are falling.
Sarah comes in with a 7th seed, while Samantha Price comes in with a 23rd seed. Raindrops starting to come down.
As we mentioned earlier in our first match, we do not stop the tournament for rain. Only dangerous conditions like lightning. Spectators are running for shelter right now. Rain's coming down pretty heavy now.
They have just given us a call of 3 minutes until shooting. We're going to take care of some of our equipment here. You can see the crowd scattering a little bit because it didn't just gently roll in. We've had some fairly heavy drops coming down right away. Fortunately, it's not blowing in on us too much at the moment. See our official there, Mike Cullenber.
Mike's dressed for it. He's got the experience. He knows. He's got his waterproof suit on. He's ready for anything.
We're going to cover up our lens here for just a moment. So while we are waiting to start, they did call for 3 minutes about a minute ago, so we're about the 2-minute mark before we will get ready for our next action. Getting ready still for this next match. And while they are preparing to come out as the rain is falling, we're going to take a very short break, but stay with us. We're going to have more 2014 U.S. Open Archery Championships from Hamilton, Ohio. Welcome back to Joyce Park in Hamilton, Ohio. Our next match features Sarah Lance in the black and yellow, now with her red wind shirt, and Samantha Price in the black rain gear.
Both ladies appear to open up with both very strong, experienced shooters, so rain should not affect them too much. Sarah's second shot seems to be a 9 here, kind of close. and the same for Samantha.
Well, after not having warmed up or practiced in the rain, and then their previous match was not in the rain, to come out now, how tough is that?
It is a challenge, absolutely. I've had to shoot in the rain myself, and but you call on previous experience.
And of course they are prepared for this. They have their gear. We saw that Sarah went with her lightning in the background. But Sarah came out and only had the one arm up, the other one off. So that was a little difference there in how they approach it.
Yeah, every archer has their style of how they want to deal with it, and the one arm out of the sleeve, the bow arm, typically they'll pull out of the sleeve so that the string doesn't brush against it and slow your shot down. And
how do you coach that? How do you instruct your athletes to prepare? Do you say each do it in your own individual way, or do you say this is what do they say, well, coach, what do you suggest?
All of the above. I let them try different things if they don't have experience on already. You'll see people out here, they'll keep the sleeve in and they'll duct tape it down or something. They'll do whatever they got to do. You get creative.
The scores that we see at the bottom, those are the scores from our last match where Eric Bennett ended up with a 143, and Kelly Schmidt didn't even bother adding up his at the end because he would have been unable to match that 143. Just such an impressive performance by Eric Bennett. He had a 6-point advantage going into the final end, and he scored a 28, so he was able to put that one away. We'll get back to the actual scores after that first end here in a moment once they tally them up. On the other track here on the recurve, want to mention we have the twin brothers squaring off.
Right, on the recurve side, Sean and Daniel, and another young rising stars that I've seen come up from the youth ranks, and they're both resident athletes now at the training center in Chula Vista. And see also the archers are putting their scorecards in plastic bags now to protect it from the rain.
So as they are making sure their scorecards don't get wet, the rain is around. We'll see what our scores are here in just a moment. Of course, Sarah Lance there in lane 1 and Samantha Price in lane 2 with a 29. We'll see if what Sarah comes up with. And a 28 after the first end for Sarah Lance. So at the end of the first, it is Samantha Price with a 29, 28 for Sarah Lance. Certainly hope the weather continues to stay away. Right now, a drizzle falling here at Joyce Park, but the wind has picked up a little bit again. We're going to take a short break while we wait for the beginning of our second end here on lanes 1 and 2. But stay with us. We've got more 2014 U.S. Open Archery Championships on CoachesAid.com. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Hamilton, Ohio, the 2014 U.S. Open Archery Championships. And the weather has finally taken a break, and we should be back here for competition in about 10 to 15 minutes. They're getting ready to have practice The lightning is gone. Severe weather is gone. We may have a little pocket of some brief showers, but we don't expect anything to stop us from competition coming up. So check back with us about 10 minutes. We'll be ready for the start of U.S. Open Archery Championships on CoachesAid.com. Welcome back to Hamilton, Ohio. We are set for the resumption of action here, the 2014 U.S. Open Archery Championships. I'm Ted Rutan, joined by Derek Davis. And Derek, kind of tough to come back from that much time off, isn't it?
It can affect them, yeah. They get a little cold, not physically, just athletically. Maybe lose focus a little bit. But once again, these are we're looking at some of our best right now, and they've got experience. They know how to shake it off, get back in the groove as quick as possible.
On lanes 1 and 2, our compound women match will resume. Sarah Lance and Samantha Price in the first, and Samantha 2 10s and a 9 for 29. Sarah had 28.
Yeah, so starting off with a close match, and I expect it to be that way all the way through.
So we have practice resume. Glad you're with us here. The weather, it still looks a little dark out that way, folks, but we should be good to go. There may be a little bit of rain, but hopefully no more threatening weather coming our way. Derek, we had this break and a chance to for everybody to scramble to safety, but after that we've had a chance to talk about some things. Let's talk about some of the participation here in this U.S. Open. I mean, the numbers are so up.
Yeah, we've got 909 registered participants at this year's event. That's up over 200 from last year, which is 701. A big chunk of that is the youth archers.
So with what is it, over 900 or so?
Yep.
Here at this total for juniors and seniors?
Yeah, and don't know the exact split, but I've heard that the youth archers are a little over 600, and the adults are around 200. So, 300, sorry.
So that's just a huge explosion in youth archery.
Yeah, and we credit a lot of that to some of the Hollywood exposure of the sport, and and also the most recent Olympic Games. There's always a little bit of a boost after the Olympics, but this particular Olympics, archery seemed to be real popular. It's the #1 watched sport, reported by NBC in that first week. And as I mentioned, the popularity of archery in some of the movies and television series recently, the Hunger Games, the 2 Hunger Games movies, the Pixar movie Brave, the Hawkeye character in Avengers, and then there's the Arrow television series, and archery's very, very visible right now.
And of course the efforts of USA Archery, again, that they have some great references there for you.
Without a doubt, we for a long time, everything was word of mouth and just kind of family handed down, and with the hard work of Teresa Iaconi, who's we're under her direction right now. We're having a publicist, and to really help promote the sport and make things professional looking has been a big help.
You can see as our competitors have come back from their practice. Don't know if we're going to have one more round of practice or if they're just going to get right to it. believe one more round of practice, Derek?
Yeah, it looks that way. And we'll listen out for DOS's signal.
Well, we are going to have one more round of practice, so we're going to take a short break here, but we will be coming back with live action for the 2014 U.S. Open Archery Championships, Joyce Park in Hamilton, Ohio. Welcome back to Hamilton, Ohio, as we are getting ready to finally get back to competition here. Hope you all had a nice hour delay, but we are ready to go. Here at Joyce Park in Hamilton, Ohio, I'm Ted Rutan, joined by Derek Davis. And Derek, we've got this 1/8 match between Sarah Lance and Samantha Price.
Yeah, I'm excited. These are two good shooters. I think it's going to be a close match.
The first end had Samantha with 29 and Sarah Lance. Sarah's in the black and yellow top. She had 28.
It's only a point difference, and that can swing at any given moment.
And of course, with a weather break like that and some wind changes.
Yeah, wind now seems to be more of a tailwind for the archers. It means coming from behind them, which can have an effect of making the arrows float a bit. And for compound shooters, not much to affect the high speed of those bows. But the recurve archers probably want to watch out for this.
So both Sarah and Samantha have completed their end. Of course, we will wait till the entire field finishes.
Right. We won't make any rash calls, but I can say from here it looks like we just might see a swing in the lead.
Looking down this field, looks like pretty much everyone has completed their ends or sets, depending on compound or recurve. And now we'll have the scoring. I believe they have talked about not using the electronic scoring for the time being, since the weather played such a factor.
Right, and you know it's a little unfortunate for our folks back home, but you know, for the sake of the tournament and trying to get it all done under the weather, we're gonna forego the electronic scoring, which can slow things down a bit. So stick to the paper for now.
And of course, they are taking their scorecards out of the plastic protection there.
Something as simple as a Ziploc bag, but I can tell you this tournament back in, I believe it was 2004 in Reading, Pennsylvania, the weather was so severe, the archers were shooting in knee-high water.
Oh my.
And the plastic bags did not help. The official scores were not completed for several days because they had them laid out on tables with hair dryers trying to dry the scorecards out and read the smudged numbers and such.
Maybe they should have taken some knives and carved them in some stone. Sarah and Samantha having some conversation as they finish up their scorecards, put them back in the plastic baggies. And they're going to get to their flip charts here in just a moment. Again, Samantha Price came in seated 23rd. Sarah Lance, 7th. Sarah with 29, it looks like, on that end, for a total of 57. And a total of 56, or 27 on that end for Samantha Price. So you were exactly right. There will be a switch of the lead. 57, 56. Sarah Lance in front.
Looks like we have a new judge helping us out here as well.
Of course, Mike Cullenberg back out.
Possibly additional judge to help speed things along, keep us on pace. And
well, of course, with the weather delay, that obviously means, you know, they need to get some things going because there are no lights out here.
Nope. Well, we got to get this done before it gets too dark.
Later on today, the Easton Joad Nationals, Junior Olympic Archery Development. And you, as you mentioned already, Derek, over 600 participants in the juniors.
Yeah. That's the largest number we've had. That's been the biggest growth in the sport is our youth, which is great because that means a future for the sport.
So when we talked about some of the places they can get started, how about teachers and coaches?
That's same point as I would say is the USA Archery webpage. Teachers can go there and look into maybe possibly getting certified as an instructor, so they can maybe have a program at their school. That's another growth area is getting programs in the schools. Easton has a program called Olympic Archery in the school. They offer grants for equipment, and there's a whole training program for the instructors. USA Archery, there's no reason you couldn't have a JOAD program at a school. There's the after-school archery program, and then there's the NAS program, which is probably the biggest school program in the country right now. An NASP, National Archery Scholastic Program, and they have a slightly different system, but it's been successful.
So it does seem like perhaps teaching athletes to become teachers and coaches themselves can be a big part of the growth. When you have so many juniors trying to get into the sport, they need the qualified teachers and coaches.
That's been one of the challenges that USA Archery is so far been meeting, but to make sure we have enough instructors and coaches to handle the increase of young archers that want to learn the sport, especially on a competitive level.
We're finished here on these two, on lanes 1 through 4 actually, for this end. We've got a tight one here between Sarah Lance and Samantha Price.
And again, from this position, I think Sarah's going to increase her lead a little more. And, Samantha seems to have an 8 down there, and when you start to get to this level, 8s can kill you.
So the archers stroll up to check their scores. Of course, the McLaughlin twins are on the Targets 3 and 4.
I don't know what you mean by 3 and 4.
That it may be moved for you, and we hate to have you end up chasing down some towing companies.
Had a brief visitor there. Siri showed up at our tent. So again, conferring, making sure they have the right scores. So it looks like an 84, a 28 in that end for Samantha Price for a total of 84. And 87 or a perfect 30 for Sarah Lance. So she increases her lead. After 3 ends, it's 87-84. So we have 2 ends remaining. Glad you're joining us here for the 2014 US Open Archery Championships. The weather delay certainly put a damper on things, but not going to stop these competitors. Radar looks clear. Of course, Derek, here in this Cincinnati tri-state area, weather can develop at any time, especially late July, early August. But I don't think we have the combination today of the hot, humid temperature that could always brew up a storm.
No, I think if you ask any archer that's been here for the past couple of years, they're grateful for the weather so far this week. It's actually been rather pleasant. A couple of rain delays is not as bad as having to be out here 90 plus degrees with, you know, severe humidity.
And then threats of storms.
Right. Always the threat of storms.
So it looks like we are going to be ready for the 4th end. Now you would think, Derek, that Samantha needs to make up some ground here. She's down 3 with only 6 arrows remaining.
Absolutely. If she didn't gain some ground here, it's going to be similar to our last match where it's just almost academic on that last end.
Still have some archers all the way at the far end of the field.
Far indeed. They look like ants from here.
Yeah.
It's a very large field of play too.
So now they get the call, ready to begin this 4th end. Again, Sarah Lance in the black and yellow. She has the lead, 87-84 over Samantha Price.
Looks like both have shot 2 9s. the same position almost on the target.
And looking from this angle, looks like the flags above the targets have even shifted just a little bit.
Yeah, it's still a tailwind, but now it's from the rear and a little to the left, and earlier it was from the rear and to the right.
And their shots have been to the left on this end.
All three of Sarah's shots are on the left side, 9 o'clock area of the target fin, 9-10 ring. Samantha's last shot. She's circled the target a bit. Yeah. We'll see. A lot of these shots are too close to call, so I'm just going to wait for the official score.
Again, a 3-point advantage coming into that 3-arrow end. So we'll see if Samantha Price was able to close the gap at all.
Definitely very impressive for there to be that much talent in one family. But that seems to be a trend in archery. There are a lot of families where, the talent's there. It kind of seems to run through. The Crawford family out here shooting.
Now the signal to go check out the scores. Again, following the archers as they walk down to their respective targets, it gives a good indication of the size of this field here. And what it takes by the USA Archery group to put this type of tournament on.
A lot of work goes into this, and I'd say the volunteers really need to be applauded. There's just no way that we could run an event this size without the help of the local volunteers.
Again, a big thank you to our sponsors, USA Archery. We'd like to thank Hoyt, Easton Technical Products, and Easton Foundation.
Of course, all the volunteers, all the sponsors as well. We have many booths, tents set up, different sponsors. Of course, we definitely want to thank one of our sponsors here, and that is Axel Sights and Scopes. Champion archers choose Axel Sights and Scopes. The 2014 Achieve Carbon Sight for tournaments enables your best shooting. Light, super strong carbon fiber provides vibration absorption, minimal wind deflection, and a high strength to weight ratio. Available on recurve and compound models. AxelSights.com. That's AXCELSITES.com. Enable your best with Axel Sights and Scopes. So now after the scoring, Samantha did cut into it a little bit. It's now a 2-point margin.
And, the fans are getting into it. They get applause over there, enjoying these matches.
So a 29 on that end, and Sarah Lance had 28. So if she comes back with another 28, it's going to take a 30, obviously, for Samantha to tie her up.
Right. Then we'd go into a shoot-off, which is always fun to watch. Maybe not so fun for the archers, but very exciting for the spectators.
And interestingly, on the recurve, which
I was just looking at that,
is being covered, of course, by Chris Allen and Sarah Bernstein. They've got the twins.
The twins have tied it up.
Tied it at
Twins
4.
score 4 each.
So, a couple of good ones right here on Lanes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Glad you're joining us on CoachesAid.com. Can still hear the wind a little bit, but again, it has shifted even since we've been back here after the rain delay. And now the fifth and final end.
Sarah's first arrow looks like a 10 from here, and Samantha hits a 8-7 liner. That's not what she needs to try and get this, get back in this game, in this final end. Sarah drills what looks to be another 10. Samantha with a clean 9.
So pretty clutch shooting down the stretch there for Sarah Lance, and this one could seal it.
Final arrow, barring a catastrophe. Looks like a 9, and another 9 for Samantha.
So that looks, again,
Unofficially,
we want to see the official scoring, but unofficially looks like Sarah Lance will advance.
the poet in you coming out.
Hey, didn't even know it was there.
Heard a lot of applause there for our twins on the recurve side.
Judge, but again, the brothers and the coaches have already shaken hands. Looks to be just formality at this point.
So now we will get our scores. This in the 1/8 matchup. And of course on the others we had the recurves, the McLaughlin twins, and probably not that unusual for them to face each other. They're you know, such
good shooters, yeah. They're at the top of their game, and I can't recall seeing them face each other, but I would not be surprised. They obviously face each other every day in practice.
I think I was told this is their third or fourth time this season.
Wow.
Because they end up in the final rounds, so on the eliminations, so they do frequently see each other there. So we've got a good look here at Sarah Lance, Samantha Price. Double checking to make sure. Looks like Sarah is going to advance. Wind picking up here. do see a 139 or 26 in the final end for Samantha Price. So well, we haven't seen the total there for Sarah Lance. She has defeated Samantha Price. Or, excuse me. The scores say 139, 135.
Over Brother Daniel 6-4 in 5 sets.
The scores.
One arrow shoot-off says the competition heads up here at the 2014 US Open.
Derek, a little confusion here.
Yeah, I'm a little confused too. I don't think those flip charts are correct.
Right here in front of us. Number 1 arrow shoot-off
While we wait for our
will take
next
place in just a moment.
competitor,
1 arrow
take a break.
each
We'll be right
archer.
back.
40
Here
seconds.
at the US Open.
Highest score wins. If not, then
We are gonna take a short break here. We'll see if we can clear this up, and we'll get ready for our next match here. But we're gonna try to clear up this and find out what happened there on that final end that led to some confusion here. So stay right with us on CoachesAid.com. US Open Archery Championships here in Joyce Park, and I'm Ted Rutan. Derek Davis with me. Explain maybe what we had there. Just a mix-up on the flip charts.
Yeah, sometimes you know, the athletes get a little excited. They just won a match or just lost a match or whatever, and you know, number just gets misrepresented in their head. And when Sarah did her flip chart, she kind of cheated herself out of 10 points, but that's not official, so that's just what we're going off of because it's what we can see. But she actually had a 145 to 139. So she was, as we, you know, said, was the victor.
And clutch 30 in that last 3 arrow in to seal the deal. 145, 139. We thank Mike Cullenber for clearing that up for us. As soon as we took a short break, he was able to quickly let us know what happened. We're going to take another short break, and we'll be back with our next match coming up here from Joyce Park in Hamilton, Ohio, the 2014 US Open Archery Championships.